Another Nick no banger.
So hey, what is up everyone? Recently I was asked by quite a few people to make a video or something on how to just use your wrists. Using a wrist is probably the most basic and easy way to actually do a comeback in most of the mods. All you're doing is you're contracting your wrist, or both of them, and then you're extending. That is all it is. So I'll demonstrate this right now. So when you're using your wrist, you want to be mindful of how much power you're putting into the movement. You have to be careful not to break them, because if you're just using your wrist, you don't want to get rid of them before you've actually used them, because that can be quite annoying. So you'll notice, if you've seen my other video, that I'm getting into a position which is quite similar to the comeback stance, to the basic comeback stance. So for this comeback, all I'm going to be using is the wrist to come back. That's all I'm doing. I've got the knees ready, but all I'm going to be doing is extending the wrist once it's been contracted and lowering the shoulder. And that is all it is. And now I can set up another one. I can set up another wrist by raising the shoulder, contracting the wrist, and get a bit of the abs in there. Maybe extend the left hip, and that's it. I've got another point of contact on the ground, and now I'm able to launch towards my opponent once again by simply extending the wrist. That's all it is. You can set up multiple comebacks. You can set up multiple attacks with just your wrists by getting close to your opponent, keeping close to your opponent. Okay, and now I'll press reset and I'll show you all again. This will be a further one. Hopefully I'll be able to get into a bit more of an awkward position. I'll just swing around for a little bit. Get further away. Here we go, that seems good. So now what I'm doing is I'm getting into some sort of position where the wrists are facing directly away from the opponent, and that's all I really need. See, I've got one point of contact, that's all I need. You can use more, you can use your knees, you can use your other wrist, but this is all you really need for just the basic wrist comeback. So you want to practice this a lot. Really, it takes quite a bit of getting used to, but once you know how to do it, once you've tried it a couple of, well, say 5 or 10 times, you'll understand why it's so much easier, and you'll be able to do it. No guarantee. And so all I'm doing right now, I've contracted my wrist again. I'm just extending my elbow and extending my wrist and raising my shoulder, and that's going to boost me towards the opponent. Once again, I can set up another wrist. I can relax this elbow so that I'm going to have another point of contact once the next 50 frames comes around, or whatever the mod is that you're playing. These types of comebacks can be used in any mods, ones which have DQs or not, doesn't matter. But you have to watch out for the sumo setting, because your wrist joint can DQ. And so once again, I shall demonstrate it. So once you've had a look at this video, watch it a couple of times if you need to, check out the Wushu tutorial in the description that has the basic comebacks, how to do them, etc. And yeah, So what I'm doing this time, I'm getting into some random position. All I'm using to come back is my wrist. Yep. All I'm doing is using my wrist. Once you become a bit more familiar with this, then you can use your pecs, you can use your abs, you can use all of your joints to get that precision point of contact on the ground, and you can do whatever you feel like doing. And that's just a simple comeback. And now again, I can rotate my chest to the left, set up another comeback with just one wrist or two wrists. This time I'll be using two wrists because, oh yeah. And so you'll notice that if you've seen my other video, or if you've seen the wushu tutorial, you'll notice that this is the basic comeback stance right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make it so that I'm going to have all four, well, both of the wrists on the ground. I'll press space again, once more, and right now I have both wrists on the ground. So this will give me as much power as I really need. I can use both of them to increase the amount of power, or I can just use one for precision, which is what is ideal at this point of time. And once again, I can get my wrist ready. Now I'm just going to raise my shoulder, and that is as simple as it gets. Raising your shoulder, having another wrist contracted, ready for the point of contact on the ground for another comeback, and I'll extend it again and attacks the opponent. So thank you everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this or found it helpful, click that like button, it really does help. And thank you all for watching. See you all later.